So how you been?
Well, my mother wasn't well, and so I did a lot of family here the last few days. And the thing is, I wasn't able for them. I feel like crying all the time, and I was crying a lot. I just kept crying. And I never cry, and
Aw,
I could feel a lot of sensations here. I'm thinking, oh, is my ice heart finally breaking or something?
aw. Yeah, so it's just like thoughts you're having, thoughts are coming up, or
It's more about me searching, and I'm sick of searching, and I'm feeling like I read your chapter, which is amazing, of course. And the way I see it is, I understand what you're saying, I suppose, mentally. And that is, okay, we're consciousness. So I can say I'm the sea, and everything that appears around me is in the ocean, but I am the actual ocean.
yes. So
All of you,
you're the actual deep ocean and we're all just like waves as individuals on top of it, but we're all made of the stuff of the ocean. It's just taking different appearances, but you always remain as the deep ocean, all is one. So everything's together. There's no separation or there's no like the thoughts that you're having, they're just coming up and arising in this ocean of being.
so I can get to that place, okay? But then my mind keeps taking me again. It's like I'm not winning.
Your mind keeps taking you. So you're aware of your mind, right?
Yes.
Nope.
And even that I know what you're saying. Even that I know. I know I'm aware. I'm aware my thoughts come and they can't be me. But yes, I let them bring me down because they always did. So maybe it's just something I can't break out of now.
I think what it is, I mean, thoughts still come up, even for me, the thoughts come up. It's just that I'm just not personalizing them. I'm not saying, oh, this applies to me. And like the thoughts, I used to be like that where, the thoughts would come and I'd personalize and say, oh, these thoughts apply to me. But then I learned, well, if my direct experience has been, well, if I'm aware of these thoughts, it can't be the thoughts. They're not me. So I'm just the awareness that's aware or the consciousness that's aware of the thought. So I'm not the thought. So the thoughts don't apply to me personally. They're just innocently appearing in this ocean space of being. And they don't apply directly to me. There's no me. Because when you think about a me, it's just when you think about a me, what do you think of? Like what comes to your mind when you say me?
I feel it in the body. So my body feels like a me.
Now, that's interesting when you say your body feels like a me. Now, one of the things that I was thinking about is when we have thoughts just arise in this infinite space of beingness. Now, the question is, think about this for a second. Can these thoughts feel? Can thoughts feel?
Do these thoughts feel?
Can a thought feel?
No.
Right? Thoughts can't feel. So if the thoughts can't feel, and what the me is just a collection of thoughts that we have about ourselves or a collection of experiences that we've had throughout life, and we're identifying with separate me, the story of Rob, with their story, that I've identified with. And so any thoughts that come, I'm saying, oh, that applies to me, Rob. But when I go to look for this me, look around and see that it's just a collection of thoughts about this Rob. And I know, like you just said, thoughts can't feel. So they don't feel, they're just innocent thoughts. So they really don't bother me because they don't apply to me, like me as Rob. They're just thoughts that are floating around in this infinite being of oceanness, this impersonal infinite being of oceanness that are just floating up, just like that tree over there, or whatever we're labeling a tree, or a water bottle, or whatever. Um, it's just doing its thing. It doesn't really apply to me. Like I don't feel what the tree's feeling. I don't feel what the bottle of water is feeling. They're just thoughts that we give labels to, and that's what language is. We see something, we give it a label, and then we automatically associate word with the emotion. So then as soon as you think the word, then this emotion accompanies it. Now you're on the ticket, you're on the ride, you're lost in your head, you're lost in your thoughts, you're lost in the story.
Okay. So the emotion, by the time it comes, it's too late because I already think I'm the body. Because like I feel crappy there now as a being. So
Yeah, because you automatically identify what happened. Yeah, you're here like right now. Like right now we're just here, we're just present, right? Then as soon as we become present, like as soon as we wake up in the morning, we're just stillness. We're still presence, awareness. We don't have any labels or anything. As soon as we, wake up in the morning, we wake up, it's just big ocean space of beingness. Then all of a sudden, the mind comes in. Okay, well, Rob, you got to go to work. You got to put your clothes on. Oh, don't forget, you got to pay that bill. Make sure you take out the garbage tonight. Like, what am I gonna have for dinner? And so then it's all these thoughts, but that's not. They're just happening in this space of beingness. It's identifying with being a separate person. Once you realize that and you see through it, you're like, oh, well, it's just a collection of thoughts. They can't really hurt me. And you kind of get some relief from that because you're thinking, well, it's just thoughts and thoughts can't feel. And this me that I'm picking myself to be, it's just a case of mistaken identity. I've just mistaken that I was this separate person called Rob with all these thoughts. So thoughts can't feel. I can't be the me. So then you say, well, what the heck is this? What's left? Like, I know that I'm still aware. I know that I'm still conscious. And that's what you want to get curious about is this empty consciousness, this stillness that's here.
Yeah, that's the one I need to work on.
Now, when you say what I need to work on, sometimes the mind comes back in and says, well, I need to work on it. Now, who is this I that we're referring to that needs to work on it? That's what you need to look at. Pause for a minute and think about that. When you just said to me, there's this I that needs to look at that. Take a look at that I. What is that I that you're referring to?
Yeah, I always felt I was.
The I you thought you were, but we just discussed that that I is just the thought, right? It's just the
Yeah.
thought that's coming up saying that you're an I. It's kind of it's like an overlay over what's here. It's an overlay of just this infinite space consciousness that's here. It's impersonal. So it's an impersonal space of beingness that's here. And then the thought comes in, the mind and its thoughts come in and just start saying, well, no, that's me. That's awake, this that's alive, this that's as spacious and aware. I've now given this a label, Rob. And now all these thoughts apply to Rob. Rob's got to get to dinner. Rob's got to go to work. Rob's got to stress about this bill. Rob's got to stress about that. And so these are all just thoughts, but that's not really me. It's kind of like overlay over what's already here. Once you see through it, it's like, seeing through the clouds and the sky. You're the sky, and these clouds are just with these thoughts. You can kind of see through it, but when it's cloudy with all these thoughts, you can't see through with what you are. So it's just a case of mistaken identity is all. Taking yourself to be. You've taken yourself to be this your whole life, and we've all been conditioned that way. Before the age of 2, everything was just labeled stories. It was just open awareness, open beingness. And then our moms or dads and friends and stuff started calling us this name. And then after the age of 2, we start identifying, oh, that's me. Oh, I'm a Rob. Oh, I have this story. I was born here. I like this. I like that. I have this. Went to school here and there. And then it starts feeding itself. You're on that separation. That's where the suffering comes in, is when we identify with being separate from the whole. So it's just kind of waking you up when you're suffering. It's just waking you up to say, wait a second, what's going on here? Let me take a look at reality and look around and see what's really happening. And I can see that these thoughts are coming. I see that I've been identifying myself as this separate person, this separate me, with its story, with its likes and dislikes, and taking it personal, these thoughts. But you know what? These thoughts, just innocently appearing in this infinite space of awareness that I am, this impersonal space of awareness is just coming in. And I tell you what, when I leave them alone, I welcome them. They come in and they go, and no problem. You know? When I start resisting them or fighting them, well, they tend to stick around. You know. Um, so if you can just be the space of the beingness and just see through that these thoughts don't apply to the real you, you'll feel like some space open up and some peace open up for you.
Mm. So that's really it. It's paying attention more to effortless being.
Well, I mean, all of us, like, right, the truth is, all of us right now are remaining as the effortless, infinite being. We're all that already, like right here, right now. Everyone is that one effortless being. It's just that we're all having this human experience. So depending on the human experience you're having, depending on which thoughts that you're identifying with. Another person might have other thoughts that they're identifying with. But again, these human experience we're having, the experiences are just coming and going, and they really don't touch the true us, which is the personal, infinite, pristine, infinite being that you and I both are. It doesn't really touch that. It's just that we're having the experience, and experience can be a little rocky and turbulent if we're believing thoughts that are limited, like, oh, I'm separate, I'm needy, I need this, I have to have that, I'm in lack. And generally, what happens is when people are identifying with being a separate person, those, the fear comes in, the neediness comes in, because we're not identifying with our true nature, which is the infinite being or the effortless being. It takes no effort just to be. And it's whole, it's complete, it doesn't need anything. So when you're coming from that place, it's like a relaxation, an okayness, going on. It's kind of like you've probably heard this before, like the actor in a play, right? The actor in the play
Mm.
acting, but it's just like a role they're playing, like I play a role as a dad, as a husband, or whatever roles, you're playing. It's just a role, but the truth of it is the actor never really gets touched by it. It's just a role we're playing. And so nobody's really getting hurt by it when you can see through it and see that for yourself. But you have to have that direct experience yourself to know that. I mean, I can tell you that, but it's you personally just to stop and look and see, what's going on. What are these thoughts that I'm having? These thoughts real? Are they in reality here, or is it just in my mind? So need to pause for yourself and just take a look. You can do that right now. Like, what thoughts are you having right now?
So I'm not having any now. I'm listening to you, and I got very good. But I actually have slowed down my thoughts because
Oh, good.
I keep catching myself. I do it all day. I keep catching. And some days it just won't. There's no thoughts there. I've actually, won't even come. I'm checking for them. So I've done well, really, in that way. But I still seem to get caught in it. But that's me. It must be laziness. I'm not staying with my true knowing. I'm just leaving it. My mind just. My sons come in. Their friends come in. I get caught up in it before I know it. I'm back in. And yeah, it's a while before I notice it.
That's really good that you're aware of that, because previous to this, you probably weren't even aware, that this was happening. Now, at least you can
Hmm.
see through it. You're aware now. Oh, wait a second, I'm not my thought, and I'm aware that I kind of get lost in the story, of being a separate person. I get lost in the sense that I'm a separate person with all these problems, and you're noticing that now, correct?
It's true. Yeah, I am. That's great for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Very
that's a great
painful,
relief
actually,
right there.
yeah,
What's
because
that?
it's even painful because you're noticing all the things you weren't aware when you weren't aware, when you were growing up, say. And it's like, wow, you just weren't aware.
Yeah. And
You can see.
it almost feels like it's never even happened, because it's like it was an experience, yes, an experience I had, but the reality of it feels like it didn't even happen. Like it was just like in
Yeah.
the heartbeat. Like it was just like a dream. Like how like when you have a dream and you see things going on, and
Yeah.
then the dream passes and then you wake up and you're just kind of like, oh wow, I was just dreaming. I didn't even realize that was happening.
Very good. Yeah. 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 I never
It's
thought of
kind of
it
like
that
how
way.
you see it. Yeah, it kind of takes the air out of it. But if you always just remember you're the effortless being, like once you see it, once you see through that, oh, I'm not the thought, it's
Mm.
hard to believe in that again. It's kind of like Santa Claus. Like, people believe in Santa Claus, but then they get to a certain age where they realize, oh, wait, Santa Claus was just mom and dad. So every time somebody tells me a story about Santa Claus now, like I know they're just kidding. Like it's just, oh, Santa Claus is mom and dad. It's not like a real Santa Claus there. So it's kind of like the same way with our thoughts. These thoughts come up. So now when I see the thoughts come, I'm like, okay, here's Santa Claus. Like I see them, I welcome them, and okay, thoughts just want to be noticed. Usually just want you just to notice the thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Thanks for letting me know. But doesn't mean you have to log into it or continue to give your attention to it. You can just let it go. You have the power just to let that go and then redirect your attention on thoughts that feel good. You can kind of
Yeah.
shift your attention. You have the power of attention that you can do that. But it's never good to push down your thoughts. Let the thoughts come up, because if you push them down, then they'll come out in other ways. That thoughts are there for a reason. They're there just is here in this space for no other reason than just want your attention. So you can observe them and welcome them and let them go, but doesn't mean you have to take like a personal identity to them or continue to entertain them. If it's,
Yeah, yeah. I kind of seem to do that though.
Mhm.
I kind of, kind of do get caught in them easier than you. You seem to don't get caught in any of them. But I'm thinking, okay, so I'm paying too much attention to that, and I'm just giving myself a lot of stress thinking about this instead of I'm thinking I should pay more attention to how do you feel right now, you, Robert?
How do I feel? I feel
Yeah.
just very relaxed. Like, see when the thought, because the thoughts still come for me. It's just that they're just not a big deal to me because they're like, I know that they don't apply to me. They're just thoughts that are coming up in space. So once you see that, it's kind of like a lightness here. Like, oh, okay, that's nice, that thought. But I already know that, when you know that you're the infinite, you're the effortless, any thoughts of limitation that come up, anything that, feels limited or contracted or constricted,
Right.
no, that's not from your true nature. I don't identify with that. When I was a separate person, and I was told that I'm not good enough or this or that, then I would identify with that. Once I
Yeah.
realized, wait a second, I'm just the infinite being, the infinite space, the effortless being, where all of these experiences and thoughts and feelings and emotions and body sensations are just happening. No one, they're just innocently here, and that's okay. They can be here, but they don't have to apply to me. Because I'm the infinite space. I'm the spaciousness itself. The
Okay.
infinite being. So when you identify with the infinite being, that kind of drops off that identity being separate and everything that goes with it, like all those thoughts that you used to have about yourself, they kind of drop because it's like that's not really who I am. That's not really what I am. So it doesn't apply. So now there's just kind of just like a deep peace, I would say, like a restfulness, a
Mm.
restful, effortless peace, just kind of like a beingness, like just being.
Wow. Hmm. It's amazing, isn't it? Really, we're just that little step away from da because I've touched it, I've tasted it, obviously, because it's our background, it's who we are.
Right. I know you've shared
Yeah,
some things with me how you've had moments of peace and felt the
yeah.
beingness, and now you're starting to have some space open up where you can see the thoughts and the feelings. You can kind of just take it from a place of witnessing them rather than being so
Mhm.
lost in believing, oh my goodness, this applies to me. Now you get
Yeah,
some space that opens up, and you can just kind of just get some, perception, shift your perception a little bit, and kind of takes the air out of it, kind of thing. It's not as like I kind of saw through it. I know it kind of doesn't apply to me, so I don't have to get caught up in those thoughts or those feelings anymore. I can just let them pass, and I could just rest as beingness. Because when you look around, like right here, right now, like if you actually to pause the thoughts, which we can do, we can pause everything right now, just be right here, right now. If you look around, just look to your left and right. Like, what's wrong? Is there anything wrong right now? What's wrong with right now? Unless I just start, unless I go to my mind and just start thinking. But if we just rest right here without going to the mind, like in the immediacy of right here, right now, there's there's nothing wrong. Everything's okay.
yeah. It's so
Right? I mean, is there anything going? I mean, it's
that's
fine.
really it is that simple.
It is. It's just the simplicity of just seeing that for yourself in your direct experience. And just seeing that all is well. That these thoughts that are coming, that the mind is saying, just won't apply to me.
And is that one of the sheets that David talks about? You know, that's infinite.
Yeah.
That's effortless being right there. Like, what's wrong with now?
Yeah.
And then
What's
you can
wrong with
hop
right
into
now
the
unless you
mind.
think about it? Yeah.
So you can hop into the mental and hop into the bliss, hop into the mental, hop into the wisdom body. Is that's that what we're talking about right now? The wisdom
Yeah.
body?
Yeah. So it's kind of like when you're right here, right now, your default is you're the effortless being. You're just, it takes no effort to be. So you're just here as the being, right? Then if you want to, you can go up to your mind and go like, you're talking about going to the mental realm. You go into the mental realm. Now you're in duality. Now you've created, created a
Yeah.
separate. itself, with its story, about stories, about stories. So now you're in the mental world. And then closely with the mental world is the emotional world. So now when you have thoughts, then now you have these emotions, all of your feelings that are associated with the thoughts. They work hand in hand. It's like two sides of the same.
Yeah, and
And
once
then
you
you're in
get to the
that world.
thought, once you get to the feeling, it's kind of a bit too late because
You just
it
kind of
feels
just ride, you kind of just ride it out, you ride it
right
out,
out.
and then
Yeah,
you'll always, because it'll always eventually pass. And that's what you learn
yeah.
with this whole thing is that these thoughts and feelings, they have, they have an expiration date.
Mhm.
They're not around for long. They expire. And then it's another thought, and it's something else. And it's,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so the infinite part then, or the effortless part is more fun anyway. And better fun ideas probably come to you from there.
Yeah, like almost like I was like in my book, and this is the one actually just came out today. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Yay.
Yeah, Awakening to Effortless Being,
Oh, wow. Well
Realizing Your
done.
Infinite Self. Actually, in this book, there's a chapter in there about manifesting from beingness. It's kind of like what we're talking about. So
Okay.
previously, like people that are into law of attraction, or people that are into self-improvement, like a lot of them, they're what they're doing is they're trying to they have these desires and stuff because they're coming from a place of separation. They feel like they're separate. So when you feel like you're separate, you're in lack. So you feel like, oh, I have all these desires and all these needs to keep the body going, or I need this relationship, or I need this money, or this business, or I gotta have this perfect body, I gotta have this perfect health. You view yourself not as the infinite, personal, effortless being that's whole and complete, that has everything. Now you're manifesting from being a separate person in lack and neediness. So when they're trying to manifest from that, it's always whatever they're manifesting is always coming from lack. And so the life experiences will be ones of fear, ones of lack, or even when they do get what their mind is telling them they want, it's like short lived, and then boom, they want something else. They can never get enough because they're trying to fulfill is this. It's just realizing their true nature as the effortless being. Once they do that, now you're coming from a space of fullness, of completeness. It's kind of like I always use that analogy in my videos. You have like like the water and it's like bubbling over because you're so full because you have everything. You're the infinite being. Life takes care of life. You're the beingness itself. Your life itself. So now you're manifesting as an expression of that fullness. Right. So it's a different way you're manifesting now. Now you're manifesting from a place of wholeness, of completeness. So now the life experience that shows up is one of joy, is one of ease, is one of effortlessness, of expansiveness. So then you could just make each day delightful when you're coming from that space. And that's what I
So
encourage
rather
people to
than
do is,
doing, you're just expressing nearly, you're just expressing what's your
yeah,
over, you're full, like it's just overflowing,
yeah,
expressing.
you're overflowing. So you're just expressing from fullness rather
Ah,
than from a constricted, separate me that can be attacked by, like I'm here and the world's out there and it's being attacked by all these thoughts and feelings and body sensations. But when you realize that you're the expansive beingness and these thoughts and even this human body that's running around in here, it's all happening in the large real you, the expansive beingness that you are, the impersonal beingness. That's takes on a whole different life experience that you'll have for yourself.
wow,
You make the
yeah.
life experience more enjoyable, delightful. What I encourage people to do is just, look in your everyday life, like how just, audit your everyday life. How can I make it more delightful? And all of us, we have intuition, what's called intuition, which is also another chapter in the book about intuition.
Beautiful.
In the Awakening from Effortless Being, I have in there about intuition, which is basically your inner sense. And it's like automatic. It's not like the thought is where the thoughts come in and you have to think things through. Effortless being, intuition happens right from effortless being. It's just an automatic knowing and how like you just know stuff. Like I know I'm a guy or I know I'm this or I know I then you have your feelings. Your feelings are kind of like your gut feeling that you have. That's kind of like your navigation system. So you know how to make decisions. Like it's you just know that this is the right way to go, or you just know that this feels good and this is the way you should go. Like that little nudge that you get. So you're operating from that intuition that comes from effortless being. And it's great because it can help you make each day more delightful. So you just ask yourself throughout the day, like, when I get up in the morning, what do I like to do? Can I sit in bed a little extra and just look around and just marinate in peace and effortlessness and just relax? And then take your time, have your tea, your coffee. For me, I like walking my dog, taking a walk out in nature, um, maybe reading something upbuilding, listen to an upbuilding song, stuff like that. Or maybe go for a drive or go for a walk in the park, or whatever it is that you like to do. You can just make everyday things more enjoyable. Maybe cooking a meal is fun for you. You like to go out and shop for it, you get excited, and you're kind of in the moment, you're in it. So just doing more things, for you, more things that it feels effortless, it feels easy, expansive, joyful. Like that's kind of like how you want to structure your day, is like that. So you don't have to be doing all this working hard and striving and I got to get this done and that done. Then you're always in your mind, but meanwhile, everything's happening right here, right? In the ever present now is everything is where it's happening. So you want to be here. This is where the magic happens. This is where you can influence things to happen. It's right here, and this is where the enjoyment is. So instead of dreaming in those thoughts, you can just relax and enjoy the present moment, enjoy the everyday things of life.
Yeah, wow.
They become more beautiful, don't they? When
Absolutely.
when you can relax.
Yeah, absolutely. And just stay there. Why go back?
Yeah, I would say marinate in it, and then you can just check yourself. You can just say, "Am I aware?" Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
aware, but that's it. And
yeah. It's the marinating, isn't it?
yeah, kind of just marinating in it. What I mean by that is just giving your attention to it. You know,
Mhm.
using your power of attention and your knowingness. Like you kind of know, this is the way, or you know that you're just here and not just here, you're here and it's beautiful and it's fine and you can just enjoy the everyday things of life from this space of beingness.
Yeah, yeah. I know that place. And things just get done. It's like you're not doing it. You know, like cleaning the house.
I
The
know.
house gets done and it's spot. It's like a brand new house.
It's
Do you
almost like
know?
it's doing it's like it feels like it's on like automatic or something, or it's
Yeah.
automatically just happening effortlessly. It's just automatic, like you don't feel like you're the doer either. Like that kind of goes
No.
away. I don't feel like I'm the doer, the one that's doing it. I feel
Yeah.
like it's this effortless being or infinite intelligence. It just kind of like you're the vessel and it's just working through you and it's just doing everything. So you kind of just get to sit back and witness the magic of it all, watching it all happen automatically. See, it's not so much like I'm doing it, you know, it's more like it's just what's happening.
Been doing. It's been done or something.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not the doer. You're not the doer. You're not the thinker. It's all
Mm.
just what's happening right here, right now is the effortless being.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, we can just marinate in that and know
Really.
that. You've already seen it. We're all really self-realized already. It's just that the mind's telling us that we're not. So we just have to know that for ourselves. You just have to see it yourself. Oh, I am. I'm not going to listen to the mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't apply to me. And then you can just be right here, right now, in the present moment.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. Life's meant to be joyed. Life's meant to have fun.
Oh, finally.
Yes, finally.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You're already self-realized.
Thanks, Robert.
Don't
You're
ever
amazing.
let the mind tell you differently.
Yeah. That is it. That's the key.